Good evening, I'm Olivia Quay with Haryanto Duman coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom.
The COVID-19 Multi-Ministry Task Force announced today that more people will be able to attend weddings and congregational and other worship services from October 3rd. Health Minister Gan Kim Yong said this comes as COVID-19 cases remain low.
We have taken a cautious approach to events like weddings. Some couples have put off their wedding plans in the hope that they can ride out the pandemic and proceed with their original plans for a large wedding reception, like what we used to do before the COVID-19 pandemic. But the end of the pandemic is still some way off, and indefinitely postponing a wedding may not be practical or desirable.
So from October 3rd, up to 100 unique attendees, including the wedding couple, but excluding vendors and service providers, will be allowed to attend wedding receptions. This is up from the current limit of 50.
Wedding attendees can be split into multiple zones of up to 50 persons each, or split up by staggered timings with up to 50 people in each slot. At least 30 minutes should be allocated between the slots for cleaning and disinfection of the event space.
The cap for marriage solemnizations will also be increased to 100 people, split across multiple zones of up to 50 persons each. But the cap for solemnizations held in homes and the registries of civil and Muslim marriages building remains unchanged at a maximum of 10 people, excluding the solemnizer.
Similarly, all religious organizations will be allowed to conduct congregational and other worship services for up to 100 people, with safe management measures in place.
Meanwhile, from October 1st, large cinema halls with more than 300 seats will be allowed to admit up to 150 patrons in 3 zones of 50 patrons each. Smaller cinema halls will also be allowed to increase their capacity to 50% of the original operating capacity or maintain the current limit of up to 50 patrons per hall, subject to safe management measures.
Starting from November, a new pilot that will allow wedding receptions arranged by a registered wedding organizer to take place as HDB common areas will also be launched. Further details, including the start date for this initiative, will be released at a later stage.
Moving on, while working from home remains the default arrangement, from next Monday, more employees will be able to return to the workplace subject to 2 conditions.
First, they must continue to work from home for at least half their working time. And second, no more than half of such employees can be at the workplace at any point in time.
Additionally, work-related events within the workplace like conferences, seminars and AGMs will be allowed to resume for up to 50 people.
Meanwhile, Singapore is piloting a new business travel pass for senior executives in Singapore with regional or international responsibilities who need to travel regularly for official and business purposes. These travellers will need to abide by a strict controlled itinerary.
And upon returning, they will be given the option of doing a COVID-19 test in lieu of stay-home notice and self-isolate until the test results are out. The number of passes will be strictly limited in the initial phase.
If the pilot is successful and public health measures are fully abided by, the task force will consider expanding the scheme in a safe and calibrated manner.
The idea is to be able to allow senior executives who are based in Singapore with extensive regional or international responsibilities to have a bit more flexibility to travel for their work reasons. So we are starting with a small number, and then we will distribute them out through our economic agencies.
The legal cutoff age for children to wear masks has been raised to 6 years old and above, up from the current 2 years old and older.
This to better reflect recent guidelines issued by the World Health Organizations and UNICEF that say young children below the age of 6 years may not have the coordination necessary for the proper use of masks.
Children 12 years old and below can still use a face shield in place of a mask, while the task force encourages young children to continue to use a mask or face shield, especially if they're in a group setting like preschool or when interacting with others.
Voluntary COVID-19 testing began earlier this month for specific community groups as part of efforts by the Health Ministry and Health Promotion Board. To date, more than 10,000 taxi and private hire car drivers have been tested, along with over 750 stall holders and food delivery personnel, all of whom have so far tested negative.
Well, the task force said the positive results indicate very low prevalence rates in the community and is an indicator that safe management measures are working.
As restrictions ease and the economy continues to open up, many people are wondering if and when Singapore will move into Phase 3.
Well, Education Minister and Task Force Co-Chair Lawrence Wong said the government is working on it.
We are charting out the roadmap to Phase 3. It would include further relaxation and opening up of activities. For example, in terms of border measures, we can expect further opening up for travel with countries that are safe. Within the community, then we will look at a range of other measures, including the rules around dining, the number of people. The rule is 5 today. We might be able to allow for a higher number, as well as the rule around visitations. Again, that same number 5 applies, and we might be able to allow for a larger number too. We also would we would also look at the rules around various events that are happening. We announced today some relaxation for places of worship, for weddings. So as we embark on this roadmap towards Phase 3, some of these measures can also be relaxed to allow multiple zones of 50 greater than what we have today, which is typically around 50 times 2 or 100 people. We could allow for more. So these progressive steps of opening are part of that roadmap towards Phase 3.
Well, visit straitstimes.com for more details on today's press conference.
You can also watch the full press conference on our YouTube channel later tonight. Now remember to subscribe by hitting the red button below. Once again, I'm Haryanto Diman with Olivia Quay. Have a good night.